On Newsnight at 7:30 we begin a very special series called The First Citizen. Eldrin St. Pierre, senior reporter, tells us more from the newsroom. Eldrin, I know that you've put a lot of work into these episodes, 6 episodes of insightful and historic conversations with former South African presidents.
Well, certainly, not just myself, but also working with Slindile Klaba, who is the producer behind the series of interviews that we had with former presidents, not only former South African presidents, but also former African presidents, including the likes of John Mahama from Ghana, who speaks about how they dealt with their own version of Eskom and how they managed to fix it. We also spoke to Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of Nigeria, who gave us some sort of insight into the arrest of Charles Taylor, the former president of Liberia. And the big one, I think, would be the interview that we did with the former president of Liberia, Ellen Sirleaf Johnson, about also about this issue relating to Charles Taylor. But the first interview that will be airing this evening around about 7:30 is the interview with former president, and I know this is a controversial one, former President F.W. de Klerk, about his role during the apartheid government. And just take a listen to this package that we've put together that gives you some sort of insight into that interview that we're playing later this evening.
I think about 1/3 of the white population described me as somebody who sold out. They wanted to cling to apartheid.
But the pressure to abolish apartheid was insurmountable, especially considering the economic downturn following sanctions in the 1970s and 80s and the investment embargoes. The democratic government had to settle a multi-billion-dollar sovereign debt, which included a World Bank loan to Eskom. Was it the right decision for South Africa, this is now the democratic South Africa, to pay apartheid debt? The IMF, for instance?
I think it's the correct thing for any succeeding government to honor the debts of a previous government. There was benefit for everybody.
But not for black people, though.
Of course, black people also benefit. There's no evidence whatsoever that loans were used only for whites.
The financial burden from the apartheid era remains a controversial issue. So does the work of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, an attempt to find moral redress for the wrongs of apartheid. The Nobel Peace Laureate commends the work done by the TRC, but admits there were shortcomings.
It didn't leave one stone unturned to investigate government and security force involvement. There they did a proper job. It's only when it comes to black-on-black violence that they didn't go far enough.
One of the cases the former president cites is the assassination of senior IFP members. De Klerk maintains, as far as his role in the apartheid government is concerned, quote, "My hands are clean and my conscience is clear." Eldrin St. Pierre, Johannesburg.